Alright, what's going on, everybody? If you clicked on this video, that means you want to learn how to make industry level melodies and loops to send out to other producers for potential placements, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. So let's just get straight into it. First thing I usually look at is the tempo, so that's going to be right up. I'm pointing at the screen like you guys can see it from the camera. The first thing I do like to look at is the tempo, so that'll decide if our melody is faster paced, slower paced, so we can catch a vibe with that. So we'll go ahead and mess around with this and see what kind of tempo we're feeling. Alright, so now that I've got my tempo set here on the top, we're just going to go ahead and start off with the melody. And I usually like to start off with either a simple lead line or some type of chord sound and then just build off of that. So we'll kind of just see what we're working with here. Alright, so I played out this little lead melody on my MIDI, so I'm going to go ahead and just record this in, and the way we're going to do that is clicking this little red circle on the top. We're just to the left of the tempo. It should come up with a menu, and it will ask you automation, notes, audio clips. You want to make sure that notes is selected if you're going to be playing out anything on your MIDI keyboard or even just your keyboard. So I'm going to play this and record it into the piano roll, and then we can mess with it from there. Now that I played this into the piano roll, it's a little bit off slightly on the grid. One way you can lock that to the grid and quantize it is by holding Control and Q. That'll automatically snap it to the grid as best as it can. And if it messes up at certain points, you can just, move the individual note that you need to. But this is how it's sounding right here, and I'm going to loop this over into a 4-bar section. Alright, so I have this melody down, but I'm not really feeling the sound, so we're just going to go ahead and scroll through some different sounds, see if I can find something that I'm feeling a little bit more. And don't be shy to ever switch up the sound ever if you're not feeling it. It could completely change a track. Alright, so I found this other sound, and it's not really a lead sound, so the chords are kind of layering up, and I think it sounds really sick. So we're going to mess with this MIDI a little bit, add some notes, see what sounds good, and then we'll start to bass other melodies and other sounds on top of that. Alright, so I added a couple more notes in here, and in my mind I'm already hearing like a second progression of chords with this pretty much the same top melody. So I'm going to copy this over and then mess with the bottom notes, create some different chords and some different sounds to mess with here. Alright, so after messing around with it and building a couple bass notes off of it, I came up with this melody right here. This already sounds like really catchy on its own, but a couple more sounds. Since this one's already a little complex, I'm not going to do too much with any other sound, so it's not like so crazy. But we'll see. We'll see what kind of sounds we'll throw in here, and I'll show you guys how to do so as well. Alright, so after browsing through Xenology for a little while, I found this sound here. And I'm going to try to layer that on top of our main melody. So this is the sound I just added. I think it sounds crazy with the first main synth on it. Alright, so I just found a different sound for that melody, and it completely changed the vibe. It's a lot more ambient. I'm going to go ahead and play that through, but this is exactly why I love just messing around with different sounds, stuff like that, and because it'll just come up with something completely different than what I had imagined in the first place, which can be a great thing on its own. So yeah, let me play this melody for you. I really want to emphasize sound selection. Make sure your sounds are quality. There's a lot of free plugins out there you can use. Flex is a good stock plugin in FL Studio. Citrus can be a good one as well. You just got to pick and choose. Just find out what sounds right, and you can mess with the EQs and effects and stuff like that, which I'm going to get into a little bit later. That can also, help out certain melodies and stuff like that. But so I'm going to add in another sound here. I'm not sure what yet. Maybe a bass. Maybe another lead. I'm kind of just finding out as I go. Okay, my camera just died, so I guess we'll come back to this. We're back. My camera's good, I think, I hope. But yeah, let's continue with the melody. So this is what we have so far. So I think I'm pretty much just going to add like maybe a bass and one more sound, kind of plucky. We're going to look around and find something else to add. And then we'll go into the EQing and mixing a little bit. And then I'm going to show you guys how to arrange it perfectly for other producers to use and chop up. Alright, so I added in this little pluck melody. Sounds like this. I think with a little bit of effects on there, it'll sound a little crazier. Go with the vibe a little more. And then I also added another sound, which was just the bass melody, the first melody that I made. Just layered with a different sound in it. And then this sound kind of pans from left to right, so I think that's pretty cool. Adds a little more depth to the melody. And then I think we're just going to add a bass line and then call it that. I'll show you guys how to mix and then we'll arrange this after that. So right now it sounds like a lot, but we're going to throw it in a mixer. We're going to hide some of the sounds a little more than the others and have everything kind of stand out on its own. So we're going to route all of these sounds to the mixer. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. You can go ahead and just select all of these by holding your left mouse click and dragging to select all of those. Then you'll go to the mixer, right click on any of these inserts, go to channel routing, and then right here, route selected channels starting from this track. Go ahead and just click that. And then here will be all the sounds here, so you can mess with the EQ and everything like that. We're going to start off with this kind of choir sound that we layered with the main melody. So we're going to add some effects to this and change it up. Bless me. Alright, so I think I'm pretty much done with all the effects and mixing and everything like that. So I'm going to show you guys how I throw this into playlist and arrange it so that I can send it out to other producers, so they can do their thing on them. So we're going to grab the pattern that we use all the melodies for. We're going to go right here on the side, right click that, click split by channel. That will split them by channels. And then hold shift and then left click the bottom one while the top one is selected to get all of those. Selected, and then drag them into the playlist like that. We're going to arrange this up to 16 bars, and then after those 16 bars, we're going to add stems, which is each individual melody played on its own so that the producers can chop them up and arrange it how they want to if they wanted to switch things up. So we'll start it off with kind of all the melodies playing at once, and then when the second loop goes by, we'll take out a couple melodies just to have a little bit simpler so they can get a little bit more ideas while they listen to your loop. Once you have a little bit of it arranged, like I said, 8 to 16 bars, probably good enough. You can go ahead and throw in your stems, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So it's going to be each individual melody playing on its own time, just like this. So you want to leave a little bit of space between the first part of your loop and then the actual stems, and then you can just go ahead and copy out the rest of your melodies, just like this. It looks a little crazy right now, but you want to just copy those out, and then just go into the line and separate each one of these individually, just like that. And then you'll want to space out each one so that if there's any reverb or any effects that are still playing, that they completely finish playing before the next melody continues. So I would say leave about 8 bars of space, depending on the sound and how much effects you have on it. So it would look just like that in your playlist. So this is pretty much how to make industry level loops to send out to producers for potential big placements and big beats with artists. I'm going to go ahead and play the rest of this loop. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, and thank you for watching.